Good evening. Just finished work and going to jump on and do sort of half an hour building. Shock horror. I haven't met the target of getting the models built by now. So I reckon I'll get it all done tomorrow. Life got in the way. I'm sure all of us long beards know that one. No big drama. I've still got 20 days-ish to get it all done. I have, however, had a bit more of a in-depth look at the rules and things. I doubt very much that running the 20-man blobs of Solar Auxilia is the, I don't know what you word it, meta choice or whatever. But that's what I'm going to go for. And I've just managed to get some magnets stuck in pliers. There we go. Yeah, I'm sure that's not the greatest meta choice or whatever, but it'll look good. And apart from that, I think I will just be brain's gone blank. It's 10 o'clock at night. Apart from that, I think I will just equip the sergeants with whatever looks cool. I've got one guy with a power fist. Can't remember the other one. And what else will I include? Trying to think. A Vexilia, I think, was the thing that I picked out because the other upgrades really don't make too much sense. Yeah, they didn't make too much sense, really. I'll cover it. I'm going to try and do a little proper video, not just live streaming, on getting these units all built up and that. I'm still questioning the Vanguard rules because, again, I had another look through the Imperial Knights. Going off on a tangent here. I know probably not many people are watching the channel at the minute, but at least I can look back on it. The Vanguard rule, Imperial Knights have it, the big Questora chassis, but it just seems to be so niche trying to score those points. It's very, very specific, and I think me trying to orchestrate that so that that kind of happens at that point, and to a degree of it, it's a little bit down to the roll of the dice as well, rather than just getting a blob of troops on it. And the reason that I sort of focused in on that was because the Velataris have Vanguard as well. So I'm sat there thinking, do I really want that? Yeah, do I really want that? Yeah, so it says a unit includes majority of models with Vanguard X special rules may only ever score 1 victory point for controlling an objective, regardless of that objective's value. However, the player that controls the unit includes a majority of these models, blah, blah, blah. In the following situations, you score extra points. So you cause the last model in an enemy unit as controlling it or contesting it to be removed as a casualty. So basically you wipe the squad off. Or or basically you make them fall back. I can't see how squishy little humans are going to do that against Space Marines, in a nutshell. Yeah, I mean, I know you're not always going to be up against Space Marines, but I think in Heresy, I'll hazard a guess and say if I do 3 rounds of an event, I would say that I stand a high chance of doing. I'll say at least 2 out of those 3 games are going to be up against Marines. Maybe on a day you'll just have all Marines, and I'm fine with that. But I don't see how a 10 or 20 man blob of Velataris is going to make a Marine unit fall back. I think that's quite an ask. We will see. I'll give them a go in some practice games. Try and get 1 practice game in a week or something, and that'll give me maybe 2 or 3 before this event. And because it is an event, it's not a tournament. So, and the rules pack says, make it a fun list to go against and all that stuff. So, happy days. So yeah, I kind of had a look through that. I don't know, that Vanguard rule. It makes me question the squishy humans. Definitely makes me question that. But I don't know, having another 10 or 20 bodies for somebody to blitz through with some Marines and horrible weapons and all that lot, I don't know, it's maybe worth it in its own right. I guess on a positive note, I guess you score something with them if you even just got them out there and just took an objective. At least you will score a point. And they're not quite the target that an Armiger or something like that is. And I guess you could take a minimum squad and it wouldn't be as expensive either. I just got one of my offsprings popping down to say goodnight. Good night. So yeah. Is that a reason to kind of take a minimum squad then? Keep it to like around about 100 points? Yeah, keep them to around about 100 points and then at least you're not going to be tying up a massive knight or an Armiger or whatever just to score some points. And that is the whole idea that I'm taking these guys, is so that the knights can run off and do whatever they want, kill stuff, which they don't really struggle to do, and they're quite fast, and then it lets the old I've got ideas going now. Yeah. The only catch as well is, I hadn't thought about this, but my brain's going now. Finished work, and I had a read of the rules and stuff and a few breaks and whatever over the last few days there. I'm just thinking, there's nothing to say that the las rifle teams have to go in the transport. I guess you could put the Velataris in there and just have a las rifle team sat on your own objective. At least then you've got this elite unit being, in theory, protected up the board. I don't know. That's a point that's got me thinking now. Maybe I should do that. because 100 and what's one of these things? Maybe a couple hundred points all kitted out, 180 points, something like that, with all the dozer blade and trimmings on them. That's quite a lot of points just to protect a little Las rifle team. I don't know, we'll see how we go. I'm interested to actually try these Dracosians in 3rd edition because they were awful in 2nd. And again, having a flick through of all the rules and that, I'm pretty confident that leaving the dozer blades on there so that they can negotiate that terrain without having a movement penalty. I'm sure that that's a good use. Where do you draw the line with it? And they're pretty tough old boots as well. I think they're not Land Rover, not Land Raider quality, but then they're also not the same amount of points. Yeah, 13 front and side armor, 11 rear. It's not too bad. Yeah, sorry, dozer blade 5 points, flare shield 20. I don't know, we'll give it a go. Dozer blade for 5 points. That's a no-brainer. And I have managed to print off the bottom layer of that one there. So hopefully get even more organisation to this workspace. Yeah, I don't know. Already starting to look better. I've got to get 7 little guys built. 2 with Vexilia or Vexillas on them. I've got the sergeants made. So it's all doable. I'll catch up tomorrow. One problem we have got in the UK at the minute is our fantastic summer that we've had, which I'm sure the farmers and people that rely on a bit of rain have been struggling with, is that autumn seems to have arrived in the UK, even though we've only just tipped into September, because the end of August, the last few days of it were particularly wet where I am. So that won't be helping on the old spraying front tomorrow, because I'll be doing these with rattle cans. I have got an airbrush. Can't say I'll massively get on with it. Let's get this built. I've got to find doors as well for that, which is worrying me because I generally tend to keep stuff all together, but yeah, it fills me with a little bit of concern that it's not there. I've also been looking at trying to get these royalty-free music type things set up. I was looking at an account on YouTube. They're called Infraction, and you sign up to them and copy this link in and all the rest of it. But you've got a list of tracks I wasn't keen on all of it. I wanted that kind of grim dark type stuff. I wasn't 100% bought into the music they had, and it all seemed a little bit complicated on the sense that if you're doing a live stream for an hour, that's going to be several tracks, because there were only, I'd say, an average, if I'm generous, I'll say they were 3 minutes each. So that's quite a few tracks, nearly 20 tracks, yeah. 20 tracks to do an hour-ish stream. I felt a little bit OTT. And I'm sure that there'll be something where you can only, unless you've got a paid for account, you can only, have, I don't know, 5 tracks or something in a certain period. And I don't really want to be listening to the same set of semi-repetitive songs. Yeah, if anybody has a simple way, but I have noticed that, say, the big ones in this industry, whatever you want to call it, certain chapter masters on the live streams, they seem to play the Mechanicus soundtrack and all sorts. I don't quite know how to get away with it. Do they not monetize it or something? And Mordy and Glory, he seems to just put music on. So I'm sure there's some really specific rules around all that. But it'd be nice to have some music on in the background. Right, let's get those glued on for that. Being brave and not really test fitting too much. I will regret this at some point. Probably not today. Right, let's let that set, and then we can be getting on with a couple of las rifle dudes. Somewhere I had the instructions. Right, that's the mouth of the door. I had a folder with the things in, and now I don't know where that is. I'm pretty sure I could take a guess at the solar auxiliary. They're not complicated models. What's that there? That's looking good. Boom! Lovely artwork, all creased and mangled. I'd love to get that as a print. Right, we don't need... I love these things. I wish we could take those in the knights list. I think that would work well. You can only take the little baby ones. I might try and pick some of those up. I know we've got that combat force coming, but I'm gonna be a skeptic and say that we'll probably get those after GW have cranked the prices up, which I saw mentioned the other day. So my hopes for that box being sort of like 80, £90 is getting further and further away. Right, so we don't need sergeants. I do need a vexilla. I do need a vexilla. I was looking at some of these rules. I can't remember. Was it the Vox interlock? And that basically ignores a unit that you're going against getting saved or something. And I don't know, at that point, Vanguard, where is it? It'll be in the war gear. Right, Vox interlocks, what do these do? Ah, no. Right. I want that because it allows us to remove statuses at the start phase. In the start phase. That we need. What one was it that I didn't want? An augury scanner, maybe? Yeah, here we go. Augury scanners allow attacks to ignore shrouded damage mitigation tests. Chris used shrouded in our sort of test game of Heresy. But I can't imagine that really coming into play. I can't imagine that coming into play on a group of las rifle guys. So Auxilia Vexilla. That's the one I want because it. Yeah, so I need that and a Vox interlock because the Vexilla increases the threshold for panic checks, which is going to be good. And the Vox interlock removes statuses. So I think on a yeah, I think it's going to be easy enough. 20-man unit, a load of bolters going against it. Toughness 3, isn't it? There or thereabouts. So yeah, I think being able to sort of 50% casualties that's got to be worth doing. Very easy to kill 5 guys, I reckon. Especially with AP4 stuff floating around. Right, 7 guys, go. And also tomorrow I need to find my bag of... I've got a bag of bases. He hopes. Right, don't want the sergeant. Pose 1. 1, 2. Yeah, these are like old school, almost. You just got a load of bodies that you pose and then fit your weapons to. Lovely kit. I think it gets a little bit monotonous having 5 poses that are relatively the same. I know you can swap the arms around a bit. Not a big deal. Just check there's nothing funny about the Vox interlock. Nope. And there's nothing weird about the Vexilla either, so that's even better. I'm cracking on with the second book in the Heresy series as well. I'm getting on with that one a lot better than the first. Nothing was wrong with the first book, I just hit a wall with it. And that's good. I'm going to try and pick up, I don't know, go and raid some charity shops or something and try and get some of the other paperbacks at a reasonable price, because for some reason we've got Heresy paperbacks going for like 50 odd quid on eBay. So tomorrow maybe I'll go and have a look at trying to grab some more affordable options, even if they're a bit tatty. And it'll give me a chance to, I know I can get these based, let them the PVA dry, go do that, and then I can have a bit of a day off tomorrow, and then come back, get the base coating done if it's not raining. 3, 4. Might even try and do a little stream tomorrow as well and just get a bit more done, hold myself to some accountability as well. Otherwise, whatever excuse comes out, oh yeah, couldn't do that, couldn't get any modelling done, blah blah blah, no time to hobby, but hold myself a little bit accountable. Right, legs. Yeah, it's sort of like a slightly simplified version of the Marines, isn't it? Everything's kind of paired, and that's the knife I need. The mould lines on these, in my opinion, aren't too bad. I'm guessing because these are out of the Battle Force group. Battle Forces, I've got a couple of boxes, and maybe 3. So I'm guessing they're quite fresh moulds and things, so it'd be interesting to pick one up now. I'm assuming they would have done a fair bit of work in the last year or so. I keep threatening to buy a Titan from Warhammer World, but at the minute I've got way too much to be got way too much to be finishing in the pile of shame at the minute. But maybe if I could sell a few bits and finish the bits I actually want to keep. Maybe next year I could treat myself to that, but I don't know, parting with £900 or something for a Reaver Titan, that would take a brave moment for me to do that. And that's like, for me, that would be probably a year's worth of hobby. Yeah. And you'd want to spend time on it and get it right and magnetize it, and yeah, it wouldn't be something to just chuck together. I'd have to come up with a bit of a plan. I guess I could buy some weapons and stuff and get them in stock, and then, you know, sell a few bits, buy a weapon, make sure there's nothing wrong with the castings, and then just put it to one side ready for the build next year. And then comes a question when you speak to somebody that's a decent mate and they sort of say, yeah, but when are you actually going to use a Titan? And are they actually any good? Well, the answer is probably no, they're not very good. And when will I use a Titan? Probably quite rarely. And that's quite a jump for me. I've done a few hybrid kits, like the Imperial Knight plastic resin combos on the armatures. I think to go straight in on a Reaver Titan or something that would be a learning curve. You've got to pin it, and I've even seen people, you know, screwing it with a power drill, you know. Cool. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about taking a DeWalt or whatever power drill to a £900 model, even though that's how you do it. I don't know. I need a drop of Dutch courage before I did that. I have got a Warhound Titan. It's a bit of a kind of eBay rescue, but I haven't got any certificates with it, and I have got a bit of a suspicion that it was too cheap, too good to be true. I think if I get these torsos made up, they can be drying. I like to go OTT with this plastic glue, but there are times where you just got to slather it on and be done with it. Just do those front sections. I think let the front plates bond a bit, and then we'll come back and put the, I'm guessing it's part of their rebreather type kit. That was something else I wanted to look up as well. I swear in Heresy 2.0 that you could take things like RBTs and all that carry on, and I can't say I've seen anything about it in this edition. I'm wondering whether it was on a PDF or something. But I would love to do a narrative kind of game and have an Inquisitor and that kind of stuff. Basically Imperial agents, but for the 30k setting. If I can't, no issues. I'll do that for 40k. And I see that people are, it's obvious that 11th edition is coming for 40k, and I don't know, I just haven't got the appetite for that. Quite happy with Heresy. I think that's enough for me to get my head round. Oh, he's done it again. Fiddlesticks. So I'm just looking for that bit that I've just dropped. There it is. Remember the Volkite doing quite well in 2.0 as well, so I'm hoping that it's kind of got a little bit of bite to it in third. I don't want anything, overpowered or whatever, but if I could have some Velataris with some Volkite that can stand up in a round of shooting against some Marines, that'd be great. I know they're never going to compete in close combat. Maybe the Velataris need to be working in conjunction with a squad of riflemen. The Velataris can hopefully clear a good chunk of Marines, and if they get any fire back or get charged or whatever, then there's still some riflemen competing on the objective. Ooh. Right, another 5 minutes and I'm going to call it, I think. Because it's 20 to 11 in the UK and I'm done. Right. Let's get that one magnetised and then pretty much bar the doors on top of the hatch. That one's there. I'm going to do this exactly the same as the other one. So we will put these tiny magnets in there as spacers. And then I think that one should do it. Yeah, they're big enough. I need to get some more of these ordered. Great, he's now got them stuck in there. Super glue. I had been using, oh bugger, that's way too much. I had been using that's going to be way too much. Right, I'm going to just glue my hand together there. Yeah, I had been using Gorilla Glue, and they've got kind of a few super glue gels and things. But yeah, a bit pricey, and I just finding they were drying up. So we've gone for the cheaper option with some Loctite. I think I've got a couple of no, it's all Loctite. I thought I had a few almost like cheap supermarket type things, but seem to be getting on alright with that. It doesn't cost a fortune when you need to replace it, so right. I don't want to go pulling things apart at this time of night, but I do want to find those hatches for the Dracosan. Oh, it's just not sticking on there. He says after saying it's all good and it's all happy days. It is not. There we go. That's better. And hopefully this super glue hasn't weeped down onto there. No, I don't think it has. Try and get the scalpel in underneath that one. I'm sure that this is highly dangerous and not how it's meant to be done and all that. So if you cut yourself copying what I do, wow, why were you copying me, innit? Right, I'll call it there. Dracosan's nearly done. Got some more bodies built. I'll get on with those in the morning and then hopefully make a bit of progress as well and do a bit of streaming tomorrow night. Happy wargaming.